Hello and welcome to Science Monitor, a show that brings to you the most significant news from the world of science, technology, innovation, research, discoveries and much more. I'm Smriti Rastogi and here are this week's headlines. ISRO successfully launches RISAT-2B, a radar imaging Earth observation satellite to enhance India's capabilities in weather forecasting and disaster relief management. CSIR, National Physical Laboratory, introduces 4 redefined SI units to the nation on the occasion of World Meteorology Day. Science Fusion, organized by Vigyan Prasar to provide practical exposure of science to school students. Vidyarthi Vigyan Manthan, held at CSIR, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, Hyderabad, with an aim to popularize science among the students of classes 6th to 11th. Indian Space Research Organisation, or ISRO, successfully launched RISAT-2B, a radar imaging Earth observation satellite from Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota, on 22nd May. The satellite was launched into space on board PSLV C-46. RISAT-2B is a part of a constellation of satellites that provides accurate weather forecasts and support for disaster relief management in the country. Science Monitor brings you a report.
Indian Space Research Organisation, or ISRO, successfully launched RISAT-2B on May 22nd from Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota. India's Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, or PSLV, in its 48th mission placed the satellite into its designated orbit. RISAT-2B weighs 615 kg and will boost India's surveillance capabilities from the sky. It is a radar imaging Earth observation satellite. In April 2009, India had launched RISAT-2, the first of the series. This satellite enhanced ISRO's capability for disaster management applications. Then in 2012, ISRO launched India's first indigenous all-weather radar imaging satellite known as RISAT-1, which provides all-weather surveillance. In the same series, the latest launch, RISAT-2B satellite, will be used for agriculture, forestry and disaster management.
This particular mission for PSLV is a very important mission in the sense, with this satellite launch, PSLV has crossed a landmark of lofting 50 tons to space. Comprises of 353 satellites is launched so far to the orbit, out of which 47 belongs to national satellite. The remaining satellite belongs to student satellite as well as foreign satellites.
RISAT is the first indigenous satellite imaging mission of ISRO using an active radar sensor system. This facilitates the imaging of objects on Earth even without sunlight. The launch of RISAT-2B will mark continuation of a vital ring of Indian all-seeing radar imaging satellites after 7 years. These satellites are equipped with an active sensor that can observe Earth in a special way from space, day and night, rain or cloud. This all-weather seeing feature is what makes them special for disaster relief agencies. The Indian Space Agency is planning to launch at least 6 such satellites in the near future. RISAT-2B would be followed by RISAT-2BR1, 2BR2, RISAT-1A, 1B and 2A. To add to a constellation of such space-based radars means a wide-ranging vigil over the country. But before that, the much-awaited launch of Chandrayaan-2 has been announced.
The next mission is going to be landmark mission for India. That is, Chandrayaan-2 mission is going to take place between July 9th and 16th of this year. After launching the satellite, we are expecting the landing on the moon on September 6th.
Chandrayaan-2 is India's second lunar mission. It has 3 modules, namely orbiter, lander and rover. The lander will separate from the orbiter and soft land at the predetermined site close to lunar's south pole. Further, the rover will roll out for carrying out scientific experiments on the lunar surface. Instruments are also mounted on lander and orbiter for carrying out scientific experiments.
World Meteorology Day is observed every year on 20th May. It commemorates the signing of the Meter Convention in 1875. Last year, at the General Conference on Weights and Measures held in Versailles in France, about 60 countries voted for a change in the basic SI units of measurements. The SI units, kilogram, ampere, Kelvin and mole, have been revised. This historic announcement was made at CSIR's National Physical Laboratory in New Delhi. This development will be beneficial for accurate and precise measurements in various industries like pharmaceuticals and quantum computing. Science Monitor brings you this report.
We see our local vendors measuring the quantity of vegetables and fruits we want to buy in kilograms. The current that runs through electric appliances used in our homes is measured in ampere, and when we fall ill, our body temperature is measured in Kelvin. All these measurements are quantified on the basis of a metric system or the international system of units called the SI units. There are about 7 standard SI units, namely meter for length, kilogram for weight, second for time, Kelvin for temperature, mole for various particles like atoms, ampere for electric current, and candela for light. In the field of science and technology, there are a range of activities that need accurate and precise measurement, like the development of drugs, nanotechnology-based devices, and in space communication. To keep up with growing technological needs, the resolution to redefine 4 of the 7 base units, the kilogram, Kelvin, mole, and ampere, was taken in a historic decision in the recent session of the General Conference on Weights and Measures on 16 November 2018. Now, these SI units are classified with respect to a universal constant, which is precise and cannot be changed. For example, since 1889, the kilogram was defined on the basis of a platinum-iridium alloy kept at the International Bureau of Weights and Measures in Sèvres, France. To maintain the weight universally, on 20th May 2019, these 4 SI units have been defined on the basis of a constant.
While the stability of physical kilogram could only be confirmed by comparisons of identical copies, and it has been known that this comparison of identical copies is an obviously difficult and potentially inaccurate process, the Planck constant is ready for use everywhere. Of course, there will be transition pains, which will, in India's case, will have to be borne by CSIR NPL.
In India, the new definitions of SI units were announced and implemented by the National Physical Laboratory in New Delhi on the World Meteorology Day on 20th May 2019. The World Meteorology Day is celebrated annually on this very day, as the Meter Convention was signed by the representatives of 17 nations on May 20, 1875. The convention set the framework for global collaboration in the science of measurement and in its industrial, commercial, and societal applications. The theme for this year's celebration was the International System of Units, Fundamentally Better. These revised SI units will be beneficial for accurate and precise measurement in sectors like engineering, healthcare, and space.
The custody maintenance of national standard is the responsibility of National Physical Laboratory. And this responsibility is a huge responsibility. It has got 2 ways. एक तरफ तो आपको international equivalence ला के आना है, and on the other hand, these measurements need to be disseminated to the country for its development.
NPL is the custodian of the national standards of measurement and will help to implement these new definitions in the industry sector, syllabi of metrology courses in various universities, and even in NCERT textbooks of school students. Several posters and documents were also released to educate the common people about this new development in the science of measurement. NPL also released a book titled refined SI units and glimpses of NPL metrological activities to disseminate the details on new changes and role of NPL promoting and making the transition smooth for policymakers, regulators, certification bodies, academic institutions, industries and public as a whole.
It's time for a short break. When we return, we bring you a report on Science Fusion, a summer program organized by Vigyan Prasar. But that's after a very short break. Keep watching Science Monitor. Every year, Vigyan Prasar, an autonomous organization of Department of Science and Technology, organizes a program called Science Fusion for school students. The fun-filled science program is being organized from 20th to 27th May at Vigyan Prasar in Noida. Students of class 6th to 11th from National Capital Region participated in the week-long science learning session. Science Monitor brings you a report.
School learning is the backbone of any education. In order to develop critical reasoning and thinking abilities, practical exposure is a must for students, especially in science. Summer vacations are the best time to engage children in extracurricular activities to enhance their skills beyond classroom learning. And what can be more engaging for school students during summer vacation than a fun-filled science program that takes forward the classroom teachings? Towards this, Vigyan Prasar, an autonomous organization of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, organizes Science Fusion. The 5th year of this unique program is being held from 20th to 27th May 2019 in Noida. The main objective of the program is to attract school children in science through virtual and hands-on training sessions. Science Fusion 2019 will impart practical science knowledge amongst the students of class 6 to 9th from Delhi schools. This year, various sessions were organized from science quiz to drama for the students. The event was inaugurated by Dr. Nakul Parashar and Gyanendra Kumar. The inaugural session was marked by the launch of a tool machine kit and a track detector robotics kit for students.
Science Fusion के प्रोग्राम खासकर गर्मी में आज जब बच्चों की छुट्टियां हो जाती हैं तो बहुत तमाम जगह जगह एक्टिविटीज़ होती हैं, क्लब्स होते हैं, लोग प्रोफेशनल तरीके से, कुछ वॉलंटियर तरीके से बच्चों को एंगेज करने की कोशिश करते हैं। ऐसे समय में अगर हम अपने आसपास के बच्चों को बुला के, और हमारा मैंडेट है साइंस पॉपुलराइजेशन का, कम्युनिकेशन का, एजुकेशन का, एक्सटेंशन का, तो उसका सबसे अच्छा सदुपयोग करने का ही सबसे अच्छा समय होता है। तो ये महसूस किया गया कई वर्ष पहले कि एक ऐसा ही छोटा सा कार्यक्रम, कैंप जिसे कहें, वो हम करें।
Science Fusion is one of a kind program that encourages students to understand the mechanism behind how things works on the basis of science. The week-long program will give students an opportunity to interact with experts in the field of science communication. Several activities were organized during the program. These included joy in learning mathematics, construction of solar light, robotics and ecological science, and hands-on radio communication. In addition, Science Fusion introduced students to many interactive learning discussions on how machines work, working with scientific instruments, and nature exploration.
Science Fusion कार्यक्रम के तहत जो बच्चे क्लास में, रेगुलर क्लास में नहीं सीख पाते हैं, वो एक तरीके से एक्सटेंडेड क्लासरूम प्रोवाइड करता है साइंस फ्यूजन कार्यक्रम विज्ञान प्रसार के माध्यम से, जहां वो बच्चे वैज्ञानिकों से मिलेंगे, मैथमेटिक्स, साइंस, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, बायोलॉजी कैसे फन के साथ सीखी जा सकती है, इसका वो अनुभव करेंगे।
In this fast-paced world, it is important to develop practical thinking among school children from a young age. Thus, the interactive sessions held during the Science Fusion acted as the learning support to advance in science.
Vidyarthi Vigyan Manthan or VVM is an initiative of Vigyan Bharti or VIBHA in collaboration with National Council of Education, Research and Training, an institution under the Ministry of Human Resource Development and Vigyan Prasar, an autonomous organization of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. The national camp for VVM 2018-19 was conducted on 18th and 19th of May 2019 at CSIR, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, Hyderabad. VVM aims to educate and popularize science among school students of 6th to 11th standards. Science Monitor brings you this report.
The field of science and technology is continuously growing and expanding. Therefore, it is important to foster knowledge about the recent developments of science and technology among students and foster interest in science subjects. With this objective, Vidyarthi Vigyan Manthan or VVM, a national program is organized every year by Vigyan Bharati in association with Vigyan Prasar and National Council of Education Research and Training or NCERT. VVM is India's largest science talent search examination. It is an online examination for schools across the country. Students from classes 6 to 8 and in the senior group from classes 9 to 11 participate in this mega examination. Vidyarthi Vigyan Manthan is held in 3 stages: school, district and state level. The third and final component of the evaluation of VVM is National Level Camp. It was held on 18th and 19th May at CSIR, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology in Hyderabad, Telangana. For VVM 2018-19, all the participants of NLC have successfully crossed first 2 rounds and have demonstrated their excellence over others. The 2-day national camp was inaugurated by Dr. Shekhar Mande, Director CSIR, Dr. S. Chandrasekhar, Director Indian Institute of Chemical Technology and Dr. Nakul Parashar, Director Vigyan Prasar.
The aim and objective of such an exercise or initiative is to create and test the scientific literacy among students. Students from school particularly at this moment, where they check, where they understand, where they exhibit their interest, their passion towards their inquisitiveness about science.
During the camp, students were evaluated on the basis of activities classified under 4 groups. Group A, Indian Contribution to Science. Here students were tested on their knowledge on Indian scientists and their work. The total weightage of this section was 35%. Group B consisted of experimental skill test. Group B has a score of 45% out of the total evaluation. Group C evaluated students on creativity and puzzles. Here students were asked to write on-the-spot essays under particular time. Last, Group D tested students for their leadership quality. Group C and D had 10% weightage.
This year about 1.5 lakh school children participated in this competition, out of which about 325 children have been invited. The best of all these 1.5 lakh, 325 children have come to CSIR IICT, and there is a 2 days camp in IICT in which the children will do many different kinds of activities and listen to lectures and so on and so forth.
Students were also introduced to the world-class work done in the research and development laboratories of the country. They were provided with learning tips in subjects like mathematics and physics through the help of study materials and crafts. VVM gave students a platform to interact and discuss science with the renowned scientists of the institute. At the camp, the students also celebrated the 150 years of the periodic table.
Well, the national camp has been a really enriching experience. First of all, it's a place where we don't have to prove our excellence in just pure academic, bookish learning. Instead, we learn how to use the skills we learn in theory in the real practical world. We learn how to apply these skills, and this is a different experience which I have never had before. And another thing is that it tests our out-of-the-box thinking, leadership skills, creativity. These are qualities which are never tested in any other exam.
During the concluding ceremony, junior and senior group winners who successfully cleared the national camp level rounds were felicitated with certificates and trophies.
I'm feeling really elated, really delighted, really happy, really excited, and I thank VVM and my school for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I would like to say that VVM, I guess, is the most unique exam I've ever attended till date.
This time, the main highlight of VVM was the participation of differently abled school students. They actively participated in various science activities and were awarded at the national camp. The Vidyarthi Vigyan Manthan is a unique initiative to develop scientific curiosity and interest of students towards science subjects. The platform also brings together like-minded students from different parts of the country to share their knowledge in science.
It's time for a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring to you some more news on science and innovation from India and around the world. Keep watching Science Monitor. Welcome back. Now let's take a look at some more scientific innovations and developments from India and around the world.
In a recent study carried out in Paket Tiger Reserve, Arunachal Pradesh researchers have found that hornbills are the top seed dispersers. Researchers from Natural Conservation Foundation, Mysore, have mapped the different frugivore or fruit-eater birds that are important for the forest ecosystem. Researchers also found that these birds are also the most threatened. This is because they are hunted for meat and the tribal communities use their feathers for headdresses. The study was published in the Journal of Animal Ecology. The US Coast Guard has now confirmed that the operation to contain the oil spill that happened in the Gulf of Mexico in 2004. More than 30,000 gallons of oil have been collected over several weeks since the containment process began. In 2004, when Hurricane Ivan hit the Gulf of Mexico and caused an underwater mudslide, it led to the oil spill. That led to the oil platform to topple over and then sink to the bottom of the ocean, which has disrupted the underwater ecosystem for almost 15 years now. NASA has found evidence for a unique mixture of methanol, water ice, and organic molecules on Ultima Thule's surface. Ultima Thule is the furthest world ever explored by humankind. Analyzing just the first sets of data gathered during the New Horizons spacecraft's New Year's 2019 unveil much about the object's development, geology, and composition. Researchers are also investigating a range of surface features on Ultima Thule, such as bright spots and patches, hills and troughs, and craters and pits in Ultima Thule. According to a latest research conducted by the National Aeronautical and Space Administration or NASA, the moon is shrinking as it becomes cooler from the inside. In the past millions of years, the moon has shrunk by almost 46 meters. The shrinking is causing the surface to break and develop thrust faults, where one part gets elevated as compared to the surrounding area. The earliest data about the occurrence of moonquakes came 50 years ago from the work done by the Apollo missions to the moon. It's remarkable to see how data from nearly 50 years ago has been combined with our advanced understanding of the moon.
In the history of science this week, we remember renowned cardiologist Helen Brooke Taussig. She was born on 24th May 1898 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She was the one who founded the field of pediatric cardiology. Dr. Taussig's research work focused on blue baby syndrome or anoxemia. It is a disease where a baby's skin turns blue due to the lack of hemoglobin supply to the heart. Dr. Taussig, along with Dr. Alfred Blalock and Dr. Vivian Thomas, developed the first surgical procedure for the treatment of this disease. It came to be known as Blalock-Thomas-Taussig shunt. In 1965, Dr. Taussig became the first woman president of the American Heart Association. She passed away on 20th May 1986 at the age of 87 in Pennsylvania. Her valuable contribution in the field of pediatric cardiology has played a significant role in understanding the health of newborn baby and saving numerous lives. Well, that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. You can send your feedback and suggestions to Science Monitor on our email ID news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write in to us at Vigyan Prasar, C24, Kutup Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. We'll see you again next week with another episode of Science News and Innovations. Goodbye.